Another day, another flashing job. This one's leaking a little bit inside. And as you can see, you know, it's all siliconed up against the roof, which is typical. It's all siliconed up on the verticals. You see how this is all brown and discolored? It doesn't even look like lead anymore. Kind of weird. So, yeah, what I think is, I think if you hit this, like this chimney's been sprayed with a sealer probably. And what I think does this is a siloxane type sealer. I used to use siloxane sealer and it would discolor stuff like this. Not as bad right when you're doing it, but I think it eats at the lead over time. I switched away from that siloxane a long time ago, and but man, I remember if you got it on your skin, it would burn. It used to eat through the sprayers that I would buy, because the spray, you know, it always sprayed on, and I was on a roof once and the sprayer got eaten through the hose under pressure, and it ruined this huge patch on the roof. It just discolored it instantly. It turned it like this yellow color. After that, I decided I was never using siloxane again, and I've actually been with the Chimney Saver stuff for a long time now, and I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, this piece obviously isn't done right. We've got it two-pieced here, which should be one piece across, and it's got to extend all the way to the edge. And this one doesn't come to the edge either. I don't know why they stopped there. It should extend over. And then we're gonna try to get some pitch on this so we don't get any ponding here. I'd be pretty lucky if these shingles match the ones I have in the truck from yesterday's job. They look brown in color, just like the ones I had from yesterday, so I could have got lucky on this one. This is the rest of the chimney. I'll have to look at this and figure out, give them an idea what they got to do to fix this. It looks like it's, you know, it's got some moisture, because, you know, we got moss showing moisture, and it's black here, which I wonder if something's not venting properly. Yeah, a lot of moisture because we have a lot of canopy here. It probably doesn't get a lot of sun either. So all the crown wash is failing. Oh, a lot of moss on this side. These caps look like they're brand new. This person just bought the house. They've only been here for a month, but this is typical. They'll be like, oh, the inspector will be like, you need caps on your chimney, right? Well, these caps are just pointless because they don't keep the water off. Look, all the water's gonna hit here anyway. What's the point? Who cares if you get water down the flue? Keep water off the chimney, because, you know, this is the expensive part to fix, is the brickwork when it starts to go. It's not terrible. We do have a little bit of hairline cracking here. It's all in line. Looks like that's a 13 by 13 flue. We have, yeah, it's probably just touching. It's built solid again, so these cracks are from that flue just expanding and pushing out. The ones in the corners kind of, these ones are gonna have to be repaired. Those brick will have to be replaced. This one, this one, this one. All right, well, I'm just here for the flashing today, so I'm gonna start pulling some shingles, pulling some flashing, and getting to work. I just walked by the tiniest little baby snake. Look at this thing. Oh my God, he's tiny. Going through these pavers like he's going through that 1980s video game. Dude, you're ridiculous. All right, more disgusting overlay. So what it looks like they've done is they just overlaid the roof. See See the rusted nails. You can see the roof deck here on this one. Yeah, I didn't even pull that shingle. It wasn't even there when they overlaid it. They're lucky that didn't get rotted out. But yeah, so this was already flush with the previous roof. And they didn't do anything except for butt their new shingles up to it with this bead of caulking. But you can see the trail of rusted nails right up. That's what it looks like. It's damp in here. So we're holding water. Yeah, so all this lead's gonna come off now. Just get some ice and water shield. Finish pulling these nails. These nails are actually just snapping off because they're rusted. I go to pull on them and they just snap. This is a perfect example of what I see all the time. Guys, when they're flashing, they put this last piece on and it comes to the end of the brickwork and they think they're done. But if you look here, when this apron piece or this back gutter piece comes down over it, there's almost no coverage with that. So you need to have another piece to come up because you need your lead to extend beyond. Because here it just comes up at a little bit of an angle like that. You need it to be up a little bit higher than that. Sometimes I feel like my life is a joke. I've been working till after dark every night this week, and here I am. I thought I actually would have an easy one. Like I might get out of work early today, but just pulled back this disgusting overlay and the lead flashing, and it's completely rotted. And not only that, the framing member underneath is rotted. What do? You know? What do you guys do when you come across this? Do you just try to hide it like the last guy did? Or do we go have a conversation with the homeowner about their roof being rotted and show them some pictures? I wonder if the homeowner would like to know about this. I guarantee they would. So now I'm going to take some pictures and I'm going to go down to talk to the homeowner. You guys might actually get to see me do some framing today. Gonna have to, well, the plywood's not rotted all the way back, so it looks like we might be able to just scab in a piece around here, but the problem is the roof. So this rafter is rotted, so I gotta see what I can do with that. I have no idea. Might be able to just sister a piece on there and get the plywood scabs around it. I don't know, but either way, I got to pull back more roof than what I was thinking. I have to get more shingles than what I was thinking. Some plywood, some framing material. Yep. Just turned into another suck day. All right, fellas, new plan. I'm gonna pull back some more of these shingles so I can clear this rot out of here. I gotta cut this plywood out. I'll pull the shingles back enough to where I can make a cut right up this rafter, right in the center of this rafter. That rafter's gone. I can't put an entire rafter all the way up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get one probably as long as I can, like 10 foot or 12 foot, because I can't tie it in down there because it's just too tight right now. And I'm gonna lag bolt it in up there and down here with some GRKs. And okay, so yeah, we have this overhang that's supported off there, which is a bummer, but it's not rotted down here. It's rotted up there and there. So if I get enough of the rafter in here to just lag bolt it in with some GRKs. It seems to be mostly rotted on this backside, and down here it doesn't seem as rotted as much. I don't know. It's a pain. Either way, I get to support it off of these 2x here, these gable cut 2x. So it won't be, I don't know, it'll be all right. We'd be better than trying to put a piece of metal over this and hide it, which I'm definitely not going to hide it. It's more work to do this, but homeowners helping me out here. They're going to go pick up some lumber for me. some screws or some ring shanks to put the plywood down, and more shingles, because now I've got to rip all these shingles way out here to be able to cut this. So yeah, it's turned into a bit of a project here, but we're gonna get it. All prepped up now, ready for this cut. Just gonna set my depth to the thickness of the plywood so I don't cut into the rafter. I've got a line chalk that's gonna get me right in the center of this rafter. And then I'm gonna come from here over and all the way up to here and over. See, someone already put a piece of new wood in there. They knew it was rotted, so I'm gonna go over to that piece of wood. I can't get into the drip edge because I can't re-roof this whole thing and do the fascia and stuff. So that's gonna be the best I can do with it. Yeah, so I'm gonna make this cut and start doing some framing. So I've just by hand, I got as much of the rot out of there as I could, all the wet stuff, so it can finally have a chance to dry up. They had all this plywood kind of laying loose in the attic and said I could use it. It actually looks like it's the perfect thickness for the roofing material. So I spread some sheets right here so I have less to clean up in the insulation and I can stand and work. So now I'm just gonna pull those sheets through, and you know, they're not full sheets of plywood, but they're like half sheets, which is fine. I'll just use a couple pieces to come up around here. But for now, I just got to make sure I got all these nails out of the way here on these pieces so I can put my framing in. It is rotted pretty much right through where the chimney is, but you know, these don't usually take a lot of the weight. They're just here to hold the plywood up and keep it from racking a bit. And so, but now if I lag in down there where the wood is good and I lag in up there where the wood is good, it should be fine, even though it's not one continuous rafter, because now I'm gonna depend on these for actually just, you know, helping to hold the weight. Like right now they're not supposed to be holding much. So, but after I do this, I'll just screw to this and we'll depend on these to hold the weight right through this area. All right, this is what I got in here. It was pretty tight going in, but I've just sistered it up with these lags, and it's in there pretty sturdy now. So I feel like I have a pretty good piece of framing to put my plywood on. You can see that this is all just rusted and disgusting back here, but I've got a nice sturdy piece. And now I'm gonna put this plywood on. Okay. Plywood's gonna go right on here. We'll gap off the brickwork. I'll screw it all down and then I can start on my lead. Okay. All right, we're over that little setback now and we're gonna start working on the lead. So I'm gonna start cleaning up and flattening out some of this mortar that's sticking out. I'm gonna use my grinder with the cup wheel on it and just kind of roughly flatten everything out, and I'm gonna get ready to get this lead on. All right, ice and water shield's on. Homeowner went and picked up a couple bundles of shingles. I've got all my saw cuts done. So nothing left to do but shingle and get this lead in. I'm out of breath because it's just, I feel like I'm melting in the sun today. It says it's only 82 out, but man, it feels like it's way more. It's humid. Just sweating up here. I've got this Pro Armor down here, the synthetic stuff. I don't really know why. It's probably not doing much, but I just don't want to look at, I don't want to look at the plywood underneath here, you know? It's gross. I just want to hide it. So as I shingle, I'll just kind of like notch out around the shingles with this. I feel like it's easier to look at. I hate overlay. It's just, and then not only that, they don't have an ounce of underlayment under this whole roof. So, so that's what I got going here. I'm obviously going to pull that shingle here, and I'm going to wait till the end because I'm getting some wear and tear on it. These nails are popping through. So I'll end up having to pull that one and tuck in one underneath. The shingles don't match perfect, but close enough. These are CertainTeed shingles, and then they're older ones. They've been on here for a while. They're narrower than the new style shingles, and they're shorter. So these are IKO that the guy found at the local lumber yard. These are dual browns, and you know, they're gonna match okay for this. The roof's old anyway, so we're not trying too hard here. Okay, so I got the couple shingles up to this height, and now I'm working on my 3 pieces of lead. I've got my apron piece, my counter flashing piece here, and then my side piece here. They're all gonna go on before that next shingle comes over. Also, it's worth mentioning that on this first piece, a lot of times I'll go with a wider piece than what I do for the rest of the run. So most of these are gonna be 10-inch pieces, but this one I used a 12-inch piece because I lose some of that around the corner. And I wanna make sure that I get a minimum of 4-inch overlap on that one if I can. If I used a 10-inch, I might have had a little less than 4. I would probably had like 3.5 or something. And that's why they're different colors. You see the lead's different texture. For some reason, the different sizes you get from different manufacturers, and their lead's a little different looking, but from the ground it's not too bad. It's not too noticeable. And then when I put this in the groove here, you can see, okay, so now I gotta get it to my plumb line. I got a plumb line scribed right here, okay, like that. And now it's worth measuring here to show you how much I have off of the chimney, okay? You'd like to have 4 if you can, you know, maybe a little less is fine, but you don't want to ever get to the point where, so you've stretched this, sorry about the camera, but so you've stretched your lead, I can't even show you. If you stretch your lead up the hill too much, this is what happens, and you start to lose some of that protection off the chimney, you know? So this is what people do when they do like a 1-inch overlap on their lead, and they have these big triangles right here. Well, you don't want to do that. You want to bring this down enough, you know, the more you bring it down, the more coverage you have. Okay, I've made it to the top. It is blazing hot out here today. This metal is so hot. The shingles are so hot. They're like on fire. It's just, I'm pretty much melting myself. So this is how I'm gonna finish the top. I did end up with this little piece at the very top instead of like the same exact reveal. And I knew I was gonna do that, but I did that in an attempt to get higher than all the old lead and the other stuff that was showing on there. So everything looks real consistent. The step is consistent the whole way. It's just this end piece is a little short. This is how I cut the back, and I am getting ready to put this tube of disgustingness back here. And I'm gonna put this tray piece, this gutter piece that I made, on top of this rubber, and I'm just gonna form like a pitch with it. I'm gonna like mound it up back there, if you will. And then I'll put this piece on, and then one last counter flashing piece will go on. And then I just gotta finish shingling this mess in. I've got the shingles up to here, but just got a few more rows to do. So I got this rubber on here, and it's so sticky, it's hard to like smooth out perfect. So what I do is I'll just drop this piece of lead right on it. And then I use like something like my roofing bar, and I just kind of tap it, and I just shape it so that rubber will still move underneath this lead. And I just shape it how I want. You know, it doesn't usually come out perfectly like symmetrical, but it comes out pretty good enough to pitch water. And then I just pull this rubber like to the corner here, and then just put some above it. And yeah, this stuff hardens like really good rubber, so it's not like silicone or something. It's like just straight up rubber. And the only reason I really use it is because I've got cases of it that I got for free. So I'm using them up like this, and it actually works great. All right, we may as well test it. It doesn't look like there's a lot of pitch on it, but we'll see if it does anything. Okay. Oh, you see this little, sometimes these corners split a little bit. It's all right, as long as it doesn't split all the way down. Yeah, so it seems like, I mean, it's still draining out. There's a little tiny puddle over there. Just a little bit storing on there. So I will, yeah, I mean, it's doing what it's supposed to do. There's just a little bit holding up. So I'll work a little bit more of that rubber that's up here, just down that way a little bit. And then it shouldn't hold anything. I mean, it's not really holding anything now. It's just mostly glistening, but there are just like a couple little spots there. So I'll work that a little bit more. Yeah, I'd say that's better. That's pretty good right there. I'm happy with that. That's how it'll stay. Oh boy, another long day. This is what it looks like to finish before dark. Haven't had much of that lately. I thought when I got into that rot that I was going to end up working in the dark to try to finish this up, but I made it. I got a little bit of time. Sun's going down now, but I got probably 30 minutes. So just finishing cleaning up. This is what it looks like. Roof match is okay for trying to match into an old roof. So anyhow, it's watertight.